Hey, welcome. So, if you've ever applied for a job, you know that feeling, right? You send your resume out and it just disappears into a black hole. Well, today we're going to dig into how AI is promising to fix that by taking a look at a tool called the AI Job Mixer. So, let me just ask you this. Have you ever spent hours, getting your resume just perfect? You send it off for a job that you know you're qualified for, and then nothing? Just crickets? It's super frustrating, and it really does feel like your application just vanished into thin air. And you're not wrong to feel that way. The modern job hunt really can feel like you're shouting into the void. But here's the interesting part. What if the same technology that's changing everything, AI, is actually the fix? That's the big idea we're diving into today. Okay, so before we can really appreciate the solution, we have to talk about the problem. And a huge part of the struggle these days comes down to these invisible gatekeepers in the hiring world. And this is the main one. It's called an applicant tracking system, or ATS. Honestly, just think of it like a robot bouncer for your resume. This software is scanning for very specific keywords and formats. And if your resume doesn't have exactly what it's looking for, boom, it gets tossed out. And a real person might never even know you applied. Kinda sounds bleak, doesn't it? But this is where the story shifts. See, if a machine is the gatekeeper, then maybe the secret is to have an even smarter machine on your team, an AI-powered ally that knows how to get you past the velvet rope. And that's really the core of it all. This isn't just about stuffing your resume with keywords. The whole idea is to use AI to truly understand your skills and your experience. To, like it says here, reimagine you. The AI is built to spot the kind of potential that a basic keyword scanner would just completely miss. So how does it pull this off? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a whole toolkit for your job search. You've got a resume booster, a LinkedIn makeover, an interview coach, all the way to a salary booster. Think of it like your personal AI co-pilot for every single step of finding a new job. So let's start at the beginning, crafting that perfect application. Because let's face it, you can't ace the interview if you don't get the interview in the first place. The first stop is what they're calling the Resume Command Center. And the mission is pretty clear: to take your resume from just a piece of paper and turn it into this powerful magnet that gets the attention of both the robots and the actual human recruiters. The way it works is actually pretty simple, but really powerful. You just upload your current resume, the AI analyzes it against the job you want, and then it gives you specific ways to make it better. But that third step, that is the real game changer. Instead of that old spray and pray method with one generic resume, you can now quickly tweak your application for every single job. That alone boosts your chances like you wouldn't believe. But a modern application isn't just the resume anymore. You can bet that recruiters are going to look you up online. That's where the LinkedIn Profile Optimizer comes in, giving you AI-powered tips to make sure your professional brand is looking sharp and consistent. And then there's the part we all dread, writing the cover letter. Ugh. Instead of just staring at a blank page or using some boring template, the AI can whip up a personalized letter in seconds, tailor-made for the exact job you're applying for. I mean, the amount of time and headache this saves is just massive. Okay, so you did it. Your killer application worked, and you've landed the interview. Now the heat is on. But the cool thing is, you don't have to go in cold. This is where the interview prep coach becomes your best friend. It's basically your own private training ground where you can practice, you can mess up, and you can get better, all without the pressure of a real interview. The magic here is really in the feedback. You practice answering all those typical interview questions, and the AI gives you instant private notes on how you did. This gives you a totally safe space to iron out the wrinkles in your answers, get your story straight, and just walk into that real interview feeling way more prepared and confident. So you ace the interview and you get the offer. Awesome. But now it's time for the final boss fight of the job search, the salary negotiation. For so many of us, this is where the anxiety really kicks in. What do you ask for? Are you asking for too much? Too little? You just don't want to leave money on the table. Right. So the salary booster is designed to swap out that anxiety for cold, hard data. It gives you real-world market info and concrete strategies for that negotiation. So you're not just guessing anymore. You're actually making your case from a position of strength. And what's the end result of all this? Well, when you use real data to back up what you're asking for, it can lead to a really significant bump in that final offer.
It's all about giving you the power to confidently ask for what you're actually worth.
So, up to this point, we've really been focused on how this all helps you, the job seeker. But for this to be a true matchmaker, it has to work for the other side of the table too, the companies that are actually doing the hiring.
And for a business, the checklist is obviously going to look a little different. They need serious enterprise level stuff like top notch security, a guarantee the platform will always be running, and deep analytics. By offering all this, it becomes more than just a tool for applicants, it's a whole ecosystem trying to make hiring better for everybody. So when you zoom out, what we've really looked at is a big shift. It's a move away from that frustrating old way of just throwing your resume into a black hole and hoping for the best, and moving toward a much smarter, more strategic, AI-powered way of finding the right fit. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've seen how AI can be a co-pilot for your job search. It really makes you wonder, as this tech gets smarter and smarter, what other part of your career are you going to ask it to help you navigate next?